So I'm wondering, for you, what are some things that might have felt like failures at the time, but turned out to be lessons?
Oof, yeah, there's so many things. Like, I guess, I mean, I've tried lots of different things as an artist and haven't always worked out. With like even working with people or different music I wanted to produce, and like I've actually taken songs down because I didn't like them.
All right.
They
Okay.
were older. Yeah, because I changed. I didn't like not like did not like them, but just changed my kind of direction. And I
Mhm.
could have sat there and gone, "Hey, that was like so much money that I spent, like thousands and thousands of dollars that I spent." But I can look back and go, that was me learning what my sound was and learning what I wanted to do in as an artist. So sure, it was an expensive lesson, but it's not a failure. It's
Yeah.
it's a lesson. Going through a relationship that breaks up, it's like you learn a lot in that relationship. You learn about, what your boundaries are, who you are more. That's not a failure. You didn't fail in that relationship. You just learn a lesson. So,
Mm.
um, yeah, even though some of them are expensive and painful,
Yeah.
it you're never a failure if you come out of it learning something and taking something away from it, big or small. So
Yeah.
that's what my dad says.
I think, well, I think it's also your philosophy now too, and good words to live by at all times. To
Yeah.
completely change the subject, you are also an exercise physiologist, and so I'm
Yeah.
wondering if you're still fitting in that work around music.
It is a juggle, Sophie. It is a
That,
juggle.
that, yeah.
I feel like I have two full-time jobs, which I probably do.
But I
Um,
think probably, I think yes, you do. Because being an independent artist, even if you're not performing, and there's so many other things that go into it that, yeah, it's a full-time job.
Especially this year, like this year has literally been the big, like my days are like I wake up and I'm writing emails for like work at like 7 a.m. before I'm meant to start work. And then I'll finish, I'll drive to rehearsal in the city to meet my dancers. And then I'll come home and I'll make content. Like that's been my, like literally my life this whole year. It's kind of been a blur, but it's been a fun blur.
That's
Um, but yeah, I've been an exercise physiologist for 8, 9 years now. And I
Mhm.
actually manage my whole team in New South Wales as well. So I'm the state manager and I work as an EP, we call it EP. And yeah, full-time user. So it is a juggle, but it's being an EP, like it honestly changes people's lives. Like I've realized that, over time of I take people that have injuries, so they've had car accidents, they've had strokes, they've had chronic fatigue, they've had cancer, all these kind of things they've gone through, and exercise is medicine. And so we go through like what we can do to help them and get them back on their way to living their life as close to how they were before they got injured or sick. And so
Mhm.
some clients I've had for like 4 years, some people I've had for 6 months. Like it's very, very variable. Again, I get bored easily, so I have to have constant like changing. So I'm learning, like it's always something different. Every person is different, every injury is different. Um, you deal with a lot of different things, a lot of mental health stuff. So, and that also kind of feeds into my music because sometimes I literally think if I could write this person a song, what would I say?
Right.
And some people I actually have, like I had one lady and she was going through a really hard time and she was kind of like almost suicidal and had a car accident and had all these kind of injuries and she was just not coping. And I told her I was a musician and she said, "Do you have a song like I could listen to one of your songs?" And I gave her, I think it was Hold On at the time that I gave her, and she just burst into tears.
Right.
And I was like, oh, and she was like, "You're literally like, you've impacted me so much." And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so cool to kind of have them transfer sometimes and being
Yeah.
able to like encourage people and help them. And